Today, I'm going to be sharing with you three things that I see over and over and over again. I talk to lawyers all the time, and they always say I'm doing everything right, or I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm not showing up in the Google three pack. And for anyone that doesn't know what the Google three pack is, if you search for something like personal injury attorney, car accident lawyer, DUI attorney, whatever type of law firm you are, um, when you do that search in Google, then what's going to happen? Got to silence my phone. Then what's going to happen is you're going to get the ads at the top, and then below that you're going to get a map pack. That's called the three pack. And people treat that like the phone book, so it's really important that you rank in there. But a lot of times people aren't ranking in there. A lot of times law firms aren't ranking in there, or not exactly sure why. So what I want to do in this short video is I want to show you the three most common reasons that I see lawyers not ranking in the Google three pack, and kind of what you can do about it. Now, if you want to learn more about how to get your law firm ranked in the Google three pack, then I'm actually doing a live full day training. It's going to be a complete full day training on July 29th. And all you have to do is go to LawyerGMB, as in lawyer, Google My Business, lawyergmb.com to sign up for it. I've never done a full day live training about how to actually rank in the Google Maps. I'm going to be doing it. My team's also going to be coming on and helping me out. And basically what we're going to show you is start to finish the entire strategy that we use to get our clients, law firms, ranked in the Google Map Pack. We're going to put it together in a very non-technical way. Actually, most of our stuff really isn't technical. It's just kind of checking all the right boxes. But it's going to be a full day thing. The recording will be available, but you cannot buy the recordings afterwards. And there's a limited number of spots that are actually in there. So if you want to learn more about ranking in the maps, go to lawyergmb.com. I think the link is in the somewhere around here. So you can go there and get signed up for that. So let's talk about the three reasons that your law firm isn't ranking in the Google Maps. Now, the first thing that I typically see, the first reason, is your categories. Now, your Google My Business profile allows you to select, I think it's maybe up to 10 categories. You can select a lot of categories, but typically what I see is lawyers selecting the wrong primary category and then the wrong supporting categories. So one of the easiest ways to figure out what you should select for your primary category is to do a Google search for the term that you actually want to appear for. And I see this happen a lot with family law attorneys, and actually even personal injury attorneys. I see this a lot too, where they don't have the correct category selected as their primary category. So for example, if you go to Google and you search divorce lawyer near me, right? If you look, then you're going to see that you're going to see every single one of the listings in the Google Maps, probably the first 5, 6, or 7 listings are all going to have the same category in most cases. And typically in that scenario, it's typically like divorce lawyer. Now, if you do another search for family law attorney, you might see a different set of results, and this time it has the category family law attorney or family law lawyer, whatever it is. So what you need to do is you need to look at what Google is actually returning as basically when you do a search for your most important keyword, and that's really what it should be, your most important keyword. You need to look at what is Google actually favoring. So for example, I see a lot of times lawyers will just select law firm as their main category, and you should have a law firm as a secondary category, but it should not be your main category. If you're a personal injury attorney, if you're a criminal defense attorney, you need to select criminal justice attorney, which is weird. I don't know why they don't have criminal defense. They have criminal justice attorney for criminal defense. So that's the easiest way. What you can do is you can go to Google, search for your main keyword, and look and see what the category is that every single key that the top ones are using. And then once you have that, you can then go ahead and set that as your main category. And a lot of times that will increase your rankings just because of the fact that you've got the correct category selected. This happens quite often. I see it happen all the time. Now, for the secondary categories, because you can select a lot of different categories, we try to select as many as we can. So there's a lot of specific categories like personal injury attorney. If you don't do personal injury, you're obviously not going to select personal injury attorney. But there's things like legal services. There's civil law attorney, I believe. I can't remember all the ones off the top of my head. But one of the things that you can do is you can go in there and you can just type attorney, and you can type lawyer, and you can see what actually comes up, because there's a lot of kind of general categories that you can select that will make you much more relevant. So number one is not selecting the right categories, though. I see that all the time. So check out what your competitors are doing. Check out what the law firms that are ranking for the keywords that you want to rank for in the Google Maps. Take a look at what categories they're using and switch yours to that. Now, it gets a little challenging, and sometimes you have to play a little bit of a game of Sophie's Choice, where if you're a family law attorney and you do family law and you do divorce, child custody, prenuptial agreements, child support, and all the other stuff, and also divorce, a lot of times divorce lawyer and divorce lawyer and family law attorney will show two different results. So you kind of need to weigh that and consider that. And you can have maybe family law attorney as your main category, and then divorce lawyer as your secondary. Or if you really want to get those divorces, then you do divorce lawyer and then family law as your secondary. What you kind of have to do is you have to kind of look around. My microphone's all screwed up here. Not sure what's going on. But that's basically what you do. Now, if you have multiple practice areas, this also gets a little challenging. You want to really, you want to pick your most important practice area, or at least the most competitive practice area, and list that first. But, there's really not a great answer when you have multiple practice areas. But typically what we do is we'll select the most competitive. We won't just go with something generic like law firm usually, because law firm is going to be really difficult. We'll add law firm to law firm and legal services and all that type of stuff as secondary categories, but the main category is typically going to be the main thing that we want to focus on. So that is the number one reason, is a lot of times lawyers do not have the correct category selected. Now, number two is your law firm reviews. Now, this one's kind of a big category. There's a couple different caveats, and I'm actually going to go. So the first reason that you might not be ranking is if your reviews don't have keywords in them. Now, we're not talking about keyword stuffing. I don't want you to go out and start keyword stuffing, tell your clients to keyword stuff when you actually get reviews. But when you have words and phrases and synonyms that are related to your practice area and also your geographical location that you're trying to rank for, you will rank higher. So what I tell our clients to do is I tell our clients, when they get clients to leave them reviews, which that's a whole other issue in itself. Sometimes you have to, and I've got an entire training on how to actually get clients to leave you reviews. But what you want to do is you want to send them questions that they can answer. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll send lawyers, or I'll send an email to a lawyer that they can basically copy and send to their clients. And the email says something like, thank you so much for taking the time to leave a review for our law firm. These reviews really make a big difference and help other people who are looking for an attorney in their time of need, just like you needed help when you originally came to us. And then you can say something like, a lot of times people aren't necessarily they're not exactly sure what to write in their reviews. So the following questions will allow you to not only kind of escape writer's block, but also provide a more a useful review for anyone that's coming along to read it. So the questions that I typically will ask are, what was the problem that you had prior to coming to our law firm? So they'll say, like, I was in a car accident and I hurt my back, right? So basically right there, we're getting car accident, we're getting things like that are related to our practice area. The second question is, why did you choose our law firm over all the other options out there? The third one is, where did we represent you? The fourth question is, what did we do for you? The fifth question is, as a result of what we did, what was the outcome? And then the last question is, based on this outcome, how has your life changed? Now, if you ask these questions and you send these questions to the client, then what's going to happen is you're not only going to get more reviews, because you're actually giving them a guide that they can actually follow to easily write a review, because a lot of times people just don't know what to write, and you've got to make it as easy as possible. But by doing this, you're actually going to get all that information that you're basically going to get all of those keywords and all that stuff into the actual review, which is then going to increase your ranking. So not having keywords in your reviews is a big part of it. Now, the second thing that you want to look at is if you have negative reviews, but negative reviews that have not been responded to. Now, you typically want to respond to all reviews. That's kind of a general rule of thumb. You always want to respond to all of your reviews, but especially negative reviews. If you have a large number of negative reviews that are not responded to, then that actually can hurt your Google My Business ranking, and you're less likely to rank in the actual map pack because you just have a lot of negative reviews that are not responded to. So every single review should get a response, but negative reviews should definitely get a response. And I've got a lot of information on my YouTube channel, and I'm actually going to teach a lot on the gmblive.com when we actually do this boot camp on the 29th. I'm going to teach a lot about how to deal with negative reviews, how to handle reviews, how to respond to reviews, all that type of stuff. So no responses to reviews is a big reason why you might not be ranking, especially if you have a lot of negative reviews that have not been responded to. Now, the last thing is not enough reviews. So reviews are kind of a tricky thing because reviews are not, as far as I can tell, not a direct ranking factor. So, for example, I talk to lawyers all the time and they say, well, I've got more reviews than this guy. Why is he ranking above me? And the reason is because rankings are not based directly on how many reviews you have. How many reviews you have is kind of a part of it. But, for example, if you have less reviews than another law firm, but that law firm has responded to all their reviews, they've got keywords in their reviews, then that law firm is probably going to rank better than you are. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to just keep getting more reviews, always getting more and more and more reviews, because there's never enough reviews. Now, from a conversion optimization standpoint, having more reviews will get more people to call you, and they'll also get more people to pick up the phone or to click on the link and go through your website. Now, clicking on that link and actually having engagement on your Google My Business profile will likely get it's user engagement. So that shows Google that people are actually engaging with your profile. So that actually will boost your rankings up as well. So reviews are kind of a tricky thing because it's not really a direct correlation, but there's a lot of indirect benefits from having a lot of reviews. The other thing is that when you actually do rank in the Google Maps, in the Google 3-pack, what it's going to come down to when it comes to getting the phone call. So, for example, if someone searches personal injury attorney and you're in there and then there's two other law firms in there, what it's going to come down to is social proof, and social proof is the reviews. Typically, what we found is that as long as you're in the Google 3-pack, if you have the most reviews, you're going to get the phone call. We have lots of clients who have ranked number one in the Google 3-pack, but they did not have the highest number of reviews in the actual 3-pack, and they didn't get as many phone calls. Conversely, we've had lawyers that have ranked number 3 in the Google 3-pack, and they get tons of calls because they have the most reviews. So reviews are very, very, very important, and almost as important as having a microphone that's not bothering you the entire time you're trying to do a video. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So reviews are a huge part of it. Now, the third thing, and there's obviously more than this, but these are 3 very common issues, is your actual address. Now, a lot of times, lawyers will have they'll have an address that is located inside of a city, and technically their address is in that city. So I actually printed this out. Let me see if you can see this. All right, so basically, kind of blurry. Let's see if I can adjust my focus here. Okay, so this is a law firm in Miami, Florida, and you can see their address right here is 11440 North Kendall Drive, Suite 400, Miami, Florida 33176. Now, this is printed directly from their Google My Business listing. Now, this is really faint, but every listing has this. I'm not sure if you can see that. You can see, let me see if I can get that in camera. Right here, it says personal injury attorney in Kendall, Florida. Now, that's actually a hint right there, because the problem is that although, get this in frame, although their address technically says Miami, Google thinks they're in Kendall. And if you actually look at Google and if you go to Google Maps and search Miami, Florida, then what's going to happen is you're going to see that their address is actually located outside of Miami. But sometimes you can still have an address of Miami. And that's a big problem. This law firm, who This is their listing right here. I printed it out. So you can see very clearly they're targeting, it says Greenberg, Stone, and Urbano, Miami personal injury lawyers. So they're very clearly targeting Miami, but they will never rank for Miami, at least in the Google Maps, just because, let me get my focus right, just because of the fact that they're not actually located in Miami, despite what their address actually says. So this happens quite a bit. We get lots of clients who don't realize that their office is actually not in the location that they're trying to rank for. Now, if Google thinks that you're in Kendall, but you're trying to rank for Miami, it's not going to happen. You're not going to show up in Miami because Google is going to show Miami addresses when someone searches for Miami. And vice versa. If somebody that has a Miami address, now not this attorney because they're actually located in Kendall, so you can actually see, like if you actually search Kendall personal injury attorney, this law firm shows up. But when you search Miami personal injury attorney, they don't show up because they're not technically ranked, or they're not technically located in Miami. Now the other thing is that if a firm that actually is located in Miami tries to rank for Kendall and they have a Miami address, they're very likely not going to rank in Kendall. So it kind of goes both ways. So that's something that you definitely need to pay attention to is, are you actually located in the city that Miami, or that you think you're located in? Because sometimes there's been many occasions where I've had to be the bearer of bad news and say to a client, look, I got bad news for you. You're not actually located where you think you are. Now, here's the thing. If you're technically located somewhere, it doesn't matter. It's where Google, this is Google's world. It's where Google thinks you're located. So even if you're right, if Google has it something funny, it doesn't matter. It's a problem that you have to deal with, and there's nothing that you can do to change it other than a couple other things that we're not going to get into. But most of those things involve getting a virtual office or moving your office altogether, or trying to rank for a radius search, not necessarily a specific city search. So it's a very difficult situation when that happens. The other thing is, a lot of times there will be something that's called a Google Possum issue. Now, Google Possum is an algorithm that is meant to combat spam, right? So let me draw this out for you. So basically, if there's lots of lawyers that are all located at the same address, then Google is only going to show one lawyer per address. So, for example, let me see if I can draw this out. So let's say this is a road, right? And, okay, so there's like a building here, and then there's a building here, and then there's a building here, right? Now, let's say that this is a one-story building, and there's a personal injury attorney right here, right? And then there's also a personal injury attorney right here, and they're the only one at this address, right? But now let's say that this is like a 4 or 5 story building, or a building where there's like a Regis office or something like that, and there's actually, let's say, 6 personal injury attorneys, right? So if there's 6 personal injury attorneys, and then just for simplicity's sake, let's say somebody is searching right here for personal injury attorney, right? What's going to happen is Google is going to look and see, and obviously nobody's really going to be searching from the middle of the road. This is just kind of an example. But basically what's going to happen is Google is going to look around and they're going to say, okay, who's the most relevant, who's the most prominent, and who's closest to the searcher, right? So if you look right here, you got this guy right here, they'll probably rank. You got this guy right here, they'll probably rank. And then what's going to happen is Google is not going to show all of these. So you would never have a scenario where basically this guy doesn't rank, this guy doesn't rank, and then 3 of these rank. What's going to happen is Google is going to show the most authoritative listing, which maybe is that one right there. So what's going to happen is basically, these 5 attorneys will not rank because they're not as authoritative as this guy right here, and because there's other listings around here. So this is called the Google Possum filter. Now, what you have to do if let's say you're this guy right here, what you actually need to do is you need to basically do enough SEO work to your website, to your Google My Business, all that type of stuff, to basically show Google that you are more authoritative than this guy and that you're the one that needs to show in this search. So that's something that happens quite often. It's called the Google Possum update. And what you can do typically to combat this, or, it's the type of thing where it's kind of like, they say real estate profit is, what do they say with real estate? Profit is when you actually purchase, not sell. It's the same type of thing. So before you actually pick an address, this is what we do for all of our clients when they want to expand to a new address. The first thing we do is we actually look at that address and we say, okay, who's at this address? Because if there's a bunch of personal injury attorneys and it's a personal injury attorney that we're trying to rank, then it's going to be an uphill battle. There's no way around it. There's going to be an uphill battle. So the best thing to do is try to find another address. Maybe there's another building here where there's no lawyers, and try to rank that and try to put your law firm there. That's typically the best thing to do. So hopefully this video was helpful. There's obviously some other things that can cause your law firm not to rank in the Google Maps. But if you pay attention to your categories, if you take care of your reviews and your address isn't a problem, then you're well on your way to getting yourself ranked and showing up, very robustly in the Google Maps. Now, if you want to learn more about how to get your law firm ranked in the Google Maps, then you should check out my Google My Business Bootcamp that I'm doing on July 29th. So it's going to be a one-day event. It's completely live, just like we're doing right now. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the entire strategy that we use to get a lawyer on the first page of Google in some of the most competitive markets out there. I mean, we've done this in Los Angeles. We've done this in New York. There's nothing more competitive than Los Angeles and New York, maybe Orlando, and we've got some clients that we work with in Orlando as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you in a very non-technical, very practical way how you can get your law firm ranked in the Google 3-pack. Doesn't matter your tech ability, doesn't matter your practice area, doesn't matter what your competition's doing, doesn't matter where you're located. So it's going to be a one-day event. If you want to check it out, then go to lawyergmb.com. I believe the link is in the description here. If it's not, I'll edit that after this video. But LawyerGMB, sign up for the boot camp. There's only a limited number of spots. I don't know how many spots there are, but it's limited by how many people we have in Zoom. And I've had a ton of people request this, so I'm pretty sure it's going to fill up. So if you're interested in doing this, go ahead and sign up at lawyergmb.com. The recordings will also be available afterwards. So if you have to leave early or if you can't stay the whole thing, then the recordings will be available. However, the recordings will not be available for sale after the event. You can only buy the recordings up to the event. After the event, you cannot buy the recording. So if you have any questions about this, just let me know in the comments. And I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the 29th. So I will talk to you soon.